let me tell you about the other great buzzword of fakery that's going around right now. It is the term. It is a term that is used instead of UFO. It is now the term UAP. As soon as you hear this term, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, there is an operation going down, okay? It is fakery. It is false. These things are man-made. UAP.
Yeah, this C60 from ShopC60.com is awesome. Thank you, Ken and friends over at ShopC60.com, and thank you for giving our Leak Project friends a 10% discount by using the code LEAK10 and clicking this link specific. Have you heard of Carbon 60? Well, if you haven't, let me tell you what it is. Carbon 60 is one of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet. Nobel Prize-winning antioxidant that works at the cellular level to lift the oxidative burden. C60 neutralizes toxic free radicals and helps to support the mitochondrial function. It also helps fight inflammation. It helps support a healthy immune system, and it boosts energy levels like you wouldn't believe. Oh yeah, what do you think of my dance moves? So go right now to shopc60.com, click the link specific, and or use the code LEAK10 for a 10% discount.
UAPs are man-made. Absolutely they are. And I know that because there was a member of the Dark Pentagon the other day that actually made an announcement that basically just said, we don't know what these things are, but we know they're not man-made. They're not man-made. Well, this guy was from the disinformation and top secret weapons area of the Pentagon. Okay, and that's basically what he said. They're right off the bat. That tells me these things are actually man-made. And we actually have a congressman named Tim. I don't have. He's actually a pretty good guy. He's been on a lot of channels. This congressman has been running around to the different subcommittees. Apparently, there are a number of subcommittees going on in the Congress and even in the Senate that are trying to get in on this UAP gravy train. All right. Apparently, anybody gets involved in this UAP nonsense, they get all kinds of resources. All right. All kinds of resources come to them magically out of nowhere. And so a lot of people are trying to get in on this gravy train. And he said, and this Congressman Tim, I probably shouldn't say his last name. I don't want to get him into trouble. But he's been on Third Phase of Moon. I don't know if I can mention another channel, Rex, but he's been on
Third Phase of the Moon is awesome. Please, yeah, okay, absolutely. Good. Mention your channels. Yeah.
He's been on with them a couple of times, and he should be on your show also. He's a great guy. I think he's a Democrat, but he's still a really good guy. And he's actually been saying that these subcommittees are going on in top secret venues. All right, like the most secret you can think of, and these are top secret briefings. And basically, he said all they're doing is they're sitting around and they're watching these what do you call Tic Tacs. And the Tic Tacs, the only thing they have in common is that they're kind of silverish metal kind of looking things, but some of them are in the shape of Tic Tacs. Some of them are cylinders like cigars, and some of them are circles like orbs, and they're all different shapes.
Chris, real quick, John. Yeah. Chris and I actually saw one of those orbs 3 years ago out here in Pagosa Springs during the daytime, just a couple miles from our house at the 11 o'clock position. And it was probably 50 feet off the ground. And Kristen was with me. And as soon as I went to go get a photo of it, it was gone. And I said, yeah, you saw that. And she goes, what, the disc up there? I said, well, yeah, I saw an orb, but she saw the same thing, man. It was and it was metallic. It was wild.
Was it silverish?
Yeah, silverish metallic. Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen,
please continue.
Rex,
sorry, I just thought it was so cool.
These things are being seen in different shapes and sizes all over our country, all over the country. They're being seen. But now there's a new addition because the Cabal has to ratchet up the fear. So now what they're doing is they're having these things actually interfere with airliners, military jets, helicopters, they're having them actually interfere and threaten these vehicles and make them scared and do these official events that are called they're called like interference or something. Like whenever an aircraft comes within 1,000 feet of another aircraft in progress, it's an official threatening incident that is recorded by the FAA and has to be reported by everybody involved. And now there have been dozens and dozens of these incidences all over the country, and they're all being considered in these secret subcommittee hearings all over the Congress and all over the Senate. Yeah, but now these UAP reports are becoming more serious, just as I predicted. I predicted that this would be happening, and it's only a matter of time before one of these Tic Tacs actually destroys an airliner or military jets and just destroys them, bring them to the ground. Now, we just had, I don't know if you heard about this, but this just happened like 2 weeks ago. We just had another development in the UAP scam that's going on. And it's this: Putin just shot down one of these Tic Tacs in Russia. He just shut it down. He shot it down and collected it. Okay? So there's a couple of things from that. Number one, it's not a UFO. Okay? Real UFOs that are extra dimensional in nature have the ability to dematerialize. They cannot be shot down. Okay? They're not physical. I mean, they're not fully physical. They can't be shot down. And if you want proof of this, just go back to the Battle of Los Angeles. The Battle of Los Angeles, which occurred in like 1938 or something like that, when the whole Los Angeles area was militarized with anti-aircraft munitions all over it because they were worried about Japanese Zeros coming into the California coast. Okay, so what happened? They had the two pretty large UFOs show up over there, and all the munitions went. All the anti-aircraft was shot up into the air at them. And they also had photographs that were going constantly as well. And so all these munitions were shot up into the air, and most of the munitions passed through these vehicles, passed through these craft, because they were extra dimensional. They were not solid if they didn't want to be solid. And killed 6 to 7 people on the ground. Okay?
I never heard about that part.
Yeah, but that's not reported a lot. In this article that you just looked at on Wikipedia, that's not reported in there, but it happened. And not only that, as the photographs kept going and the smoke finally cleared from everything, guess what's shown in the photos? The later photos. 2 pretty large disc UFOs happily sailing away. Very slowly, as if to say, you didn't do anything to us. We're fine. And they did. They just sailed away after that. Those are real UFOs because they cannot be shut down. Just like the Roswell scam that happened. That wasn't a real UFO. That was created, arranged by the Cabal, and it was with assistance, I believe, also from malevolent alien visitors as well, who actually threw some hybrid bodies in there and then affected technology transfer from Roswell. That's what they really wanted to do. So, like I said, these UAPs are just the latest psychological operation to take over ufology, to get you away. Go ahead. Did you?
Oh, sorry. I was going to let you finish, but I'll just real quick. The same year the Air Force started was the year of the Roswell sightings, or the Roswell crash. And so we just looked at that UAP report from 2022. They showed 147 approximately cases in 17 years, right? And then over the past year, they've had more than that. So you brought up something really interesting. Like there's going to be defense contractors obviously making these craft, like very high level, very cutting edge, creme de la creme. And they're
That's
probably
what Congressman Tip That's what, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
That's
please.
what Congressman Tim has been saying. He's actually said at some point, he said, listen, these Tic Tacs and these things that are, he said he's pretty certain that McDonnell Douglas is involved, Raytheon, and all the big aerospace companies are involved in putting these things together. But you know what he said that's really strange? He said, but I don't believe the U.S. government is actually involved in them. I don't believe Russia is involved in putting these things together at all. I believe there's some kind of transnational actors who are actually putting these stuff together with help from the aerospace companies that you just cited, Rex. That's what he said. It's crazy, crazy stuff. But it starts to narrow the field of what's really going on here.
You know, and that's the thing is if you get your mind into a certain tune, like as our brain is an antenna as well as a receiver, we can start to kind of figure this stuff out. It just all puts into place. And what a great way. And notice these UAPs and the termage UAP came out when the Space Force started. So what a great way to get funding and the people behind the Space Force then to protect us from possibly aliens. They're not saying they are aliens, but they make it sound like it's aliens. And I mean, I think it's brilliant. And I think that we do need to I think that having a Space Force is great, but really if you control space, then you're going to be you're going to be able to take out anything on the ground. So China's going to want a piece of that. Russia's going to want a piece of that. Every nation's going to want a piece of that. So clearly let's get out there, but let's just, let's figure out a way to freaking work together and have some checks and balances. Is that going to be a possibility though, when the powers that be have been using the same blueprint for thousands of years and been getting away with it? I don't know. The only thing I can say is, astrologically speaking, if you believe in higher powers and beings that are, you can call them interdimensional, extraterrestrial, demonic. I wouldn't call them demons and I wouldn't call them fallen angels though. I'm just saying that personally, I will not do that, but they seem to be kind of like running the show. If we look at the world as a whole, and if we look at how things have been put into place over the past 50 years and then go back further than that, I mean, a mafia can be mafia is obviously usually what's running the show in certain ways, because they'll do, the meanest people out there that have the smallest conscience, they're usually the ones kind of running the show. It seems like. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong there. But my point is, it seems like there's something else that has a longer lifespan that is putting things into place, that is following things in an order where it's far greater than what we're seeing even. It's like unseen.
Absolutely. And that's why this operation, this UAP operation, is multi-generational. It's been going on since Roswell and even before that. And it's now entering its final phases. That's exactly why Putin let everyone know that he shut down one of these things and he's examining it right now, so that the Cabal will say, this jig is almost up. If Putin is able to examine one of these things and see what it really is and see that there's no alien visitors in there, because these things are top secret weapons. That's basically what they are, being used by the Cabal, a transnational actor who is using these things and who's actually gathering them, trying to ratchet up the fear, ratchet up the attacks on the nations, not just the USA. They're doing this in other nations too. In Japan, you can actually go, the nightly news carries UAPs just attacking different installations on a regular basis. And it's happening all the time there. And in Japan, they don't try to cover this stuff up. They just report it. And they let the people decide. And so this is going on, and they're trying to gather their forces for what they're ultimately going to be doing, and that's the great fake alien invasion that's going to be against the nations. And that's one of the Cabal's final cards when their back is up against the wall and they've got no other options because all the nukes have been taken away from them. That's what's happening now. The White Hats are taking the nukes away from them, and they are now getting to the point where they're going to have to speed up this alien invasion. Cliff High has said that he sees the full-on alien invasion coming by August of this year. But they're going to have to do a lot of prep before they get to that point. And they're doing that prep right now by having the UAPs attack airliners. That just happened the other day. It was reported by a pilot. And this is going to be happening more and more often. And I believe they're going to start bringing airliners down with attacks. And it's going to be happening soon. So I would like for people to get and read my book, The Extra Dimensionals, so that they can understand what's underlying this operation that is, again, multi-generational. It's been going on for a long time. The difference is now it's reaching its crescendo. It's reaching the final crescendo. And if you guys can just read my book, The Extra Dimensionals, True Tales and Concepts of Alien Visitors, it has nearly 200 reviews at this point, and it's the book that I have seen repeated by more movie makers and documentary filmmakers than I have seen anybody else really do in their material. So I just wish that people would get it straight from the horse's mouth so they can understand what real alien visitors look like, what real UFOs look like, so that they can tell when they're being attacked by a fake, like the UAPs. That whole thing it's just another Project Mockingbird type of situation. But unfortunately, this is going to be a real situation with real solid UFO-like craft attacking American citizens and our buildings and our cities. That's what we're going to be facing, and it's going to be real. It's not going to be like I had this guy, Jason Shurka, make a documentary the other day that was based partly on the Extra Dimensionals, partly on my book, but then he screwed up the ending where he said in this documentary that when the fake alien invasion comes, it's just going to be Project Bluebeam and a bunch of holograms. That's all it's going to be. That was completely wrong. It's like when people repeat your jokes and they screw them up. Well, he screwed that up completely. No, it's not going to be holograms. It's not going to be pretty holograms in the sky. It's going to be rock solid, silverish craft of all shapes and sizes that will not have any alien visitors in them. They won't have anything in them, but they're going to have destruction. They're going to bring real destruction to our cities because that's the only thing that they can do. And it's going to be massive and amazing and very, very horrible when it happens.
You want to place a bet that the real space friends or the real space people will show up after, and they're going to do it before. That way they control the narrative, and if there's friendlies that come out, then we're going to look at them like they're enemies.
Well, there's I've had a lot of people comment on my book and about the impending fake alien invasion, and they've said, and rightly so, they've said that the good alien visitors have stopped so many nuclear actions from going forward. They've done this during our entire history, and they've stopped nuclear facilities from being operated. They've stopped nuclear missiles. So wouldn't they show up to stop this fake alien invasion? And that's possible too. That's possible. They could stop it. I mean,
now that's being an optimist, John.
Yeah, and that's very possible. That could happen. Hopefully it will. And then they'll come forward and say, "Hey, we're the true aliens." But like I said, people just really need to read my book, The Extra Dimensionals, so that they have a background in what's real and what's not, and why. Why is it real? Why are the good aliens here helping us all the time? I mean, look at what happened in Hawaii. I think it was last year when Hawaii was attacked by a that was being attributed to North Korea, and they sent a nuclear missile to Hawaii to take it out completely. And that missile was not intercepted by any of our technology. It was not stopped, but yet it just disappeared. That missile was on its way. It was en route. Everybody in Hawaii was given the emergency alert system, head for your basements, head for your basements. You've got 10 minutes before you blow up, you got to get out of here. That really happened. That was true. And that nuclear missile, like I said, it just disappeared. It didn't explode. It wasn't intercepted by our, I forget what you call that technology that stops missiles. But the shields, like the Iron Dome, something like that. And we, lots of countries have that technology, but it wasn't used in this instance. The missile simply, when it got to the atmosphere over Hawaii, it just faded away. It just disappeared. And we've seen that happen before. And that right there, I am convinced, is good alien visitors who are helping us and maintaining our survival and helping us in every way they can. So that happens all the time too. That happens on the ground as well, because they know when nuclear facilities are going to be used somehow. And that really makes Russia and the United States really go nuts when that happens, but it does happen all the time. It's crazy.
The media did a great job with control of the narrative on that. False, it was just a false alarm, folks. They accidentally pressed the button and then we fired the guy. It'll never happen again. Don't worry about it. Be like, okay, cool. All right, let's go back. See, I mean, it's so wild when you talk about like clones and nukes missing. Like you want to say there's no way, but can you? And I can't, because I would say it is possible. Heck, I remember back, oftentimes movies come out after information is uncovered that's legit, but then they obviously turn it into a Hollywood version. So here's an example. The Sixth Day. Have you seen The Sixth Day?
Yeah, I believe I have, with Arnold.
Yeah, Arnold. Yeah.
Arnold.
Hey, man. By the way, Sylvester Stallone, you still got it, bro. I'm watching Tulsa King, and I'm super impressed.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it.
It's funny, and it's great. Yeah. He's like a cool gangster. You can't not like this guy. Even if you're an ATF agent, like the chick that fell, but then she gave him up at the end. I hope she anyway, I don't want to.
They're all bad. All ATF, they're bad.
They're all bad. There's one good one out there. Okay,
She's the perfect example. She's the perfect example.
The prime time example. Where was I going with this? I started
The Sixth Day with Arnold.
Oh yeah, Arnold. So in that film, comes out in 1999. They're cloning pets. They've got smart appliances and smart electronics like we do now. And they also have a guy that's running the show that's like cloning people, but he's like the lead guy, and he keeps getting taken out, but he keeps cloning himself. And they've got these full bodies basically that they'll clone you into, and they can add or take away your lifespan. So if they want to clone you and only give you like 10 years, they can do that in this film.
Right.
So I'm just wondering, I mean, clearly it's a movie, but do they have technologies to clone people, and are they actually cloning people?
In that movie, I actually saw Joe Biden in one of those tubes that they were building the clones. He was in there. You just have to rewind and pause. You'll see it. I think they had like 6 of them. 6 Joe Bidens in there. That was crazy.
That's the best line I've heard all day. That's going at the beginning. That was brilliant. They told us 20 years ago, man. Oh,
it's all out there. And the thing is that Hollywood, and you have a lot of different fakers who tell you different versions of what I'm about to say. And it's that the Cabal, ultimately, they are a religious group. They're a cult. And they believe in rituals. They believe in magic. They believe that it's true. It's real. Their magic, their rituals. And one of the rituals that they believe in is that they have to be like the creator. They have to be a reflection of the creator, because they're trying to be the creator. They're trying to be God. And one of the things that God does is God always prophesizes and shows what he's going to do in books like the Bible. And he shows exactly what's going to happen from the beginning to the end. And so for that reason, because they are imitating God, they also see that they feel that they have to reveal everything they're going to do as well. It's not for any political purposes or for hypnotizing purposes. It's just because they're trying to be like God. And so they're trying to show what they do. That's why they use Hollywood to tell the stories, to tell a vision of what is going to happen. And that's why they do things like the 6th day, showing all this cloning, and now we're living through it. You know, like I said, we're at the fourth turning, folks.
You want to go to the Real Life X-Files with John D'Souza, subscribe to John D'Souza's YouTube channel, hit the bell so you'll get all notifications, and also you want to go to his website, JohnTamaBooks.com. That's JohnTamaBooks.com, and get access to his latest work, his videos, his podcasts. You can see his books right here, The Para-Investigators, Extra Dimensionals, Clear Hearers. Get your autographed copy. I actually have autographed copies from John, which is nice to have. And the information presented is nothing short of exceptional and extraordinary. John has some incredible knowledge that he shares with us in full. We talked for over 2.5 hours on the website, so check us out on the web, leakproject.com. We do live shows free every single day, and in the archives, we have over 4,500 podcasts. So you want to listen to this in full on the website, but we will upload several parts on our YouTube channel as well. So stay tuned and subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. YouTube.com/clandestine Time Lord. Hit the bell, be well, and be the change you want to see.